Well, for more on SONA, we cross now to my colleague, SABC News reporter Lulama Matya, who's joining us live from Cape Town.
Thanks, Nompu, and welcome to Cape Town in front of the City Hall, which has been declared the National Parliament for the State of the Nation address as well as the budget a week after next. But to talk up to us about the business of the day, which is SONA, I am joined by ATM leader Vuyolwethu Zungula. Welcome to the SABC.
Thank you so much for having us.
As the ATM, your expectations for SONA?
We expect lies, and more lies. He's broken his promises from 2018 when he did his first SONA. You'll recall that he promised a bullet train, he promised a smart city, he promised a university. That was all in his first few SONAs. Now we're sitting here, in the last SONA that he's going to present in this term, and none of those promises have materialized. So we're dealing with a person that has no shame in terms of he comes and he uses SONA and takes the platform in SONA to break the hearts and the trust of South Africans by lying to them consistently. So if there's one thing that South Africans must expect today, they must expect more lies.
Did you engage the president on why he has failed to deliver on the promises that he has made, as you are saying, in one of the ways of making him accountable to Parliament?
Yeah, definitely. We as an organization, we've written a series of letters to the president highlighting various issues. We've also taken our time, attend the meetings that are with the leaders of opposition parties. And again, we've also utilized the president question and answer session in Parliament to highlight and raise some of these issues. Now, for some of these issues, we'll recall in 2019 when we're raising the issue of prioritization of South Africans for job opportunities. He said he's looking into the matter, and we even cited a case of Botswana where they reserve some sectors of the economy for South Africans. He said he's looking into the matter. Now, it is 5 years later, he still has not acted on a single thing that he promised that he's looking at it, and there are mechanisms that are in place to make sure that everything that we have highlighted, he gets to, they are going to action it as government. So what we're basically dealing with, we're dealing with a president and a party that is, number one, out of touch with people's realities. Number two, they've got no conscience at all, because when you've got a conscience, at least enough is enough. Let me not lie to the people. But we're dealing with people who are going to shamelessly lie, and keep on lying.
I was listening to an analyst this morning on the SABC platform saying that there are always those people who are pro an incumbent, a president in the office, and those who are against. Is the ATM not one of those who are against, and therefore you see nothing that he has done?
Look, Tina, as the ATM, we are pro the people of South Africa. So anything that is for the benefit of South Africans will always be pro it. So if the president is doing something that is beneficial to South Africans, we'll applaud him. For example, this ICJ matter, we applauded the government. We said the government is doing well. On the question of deployment of soldiers to deal with the areas that are having issues with illegal mining, we made the call that President, please deploy SNDF to the places whereby there's illegal mining, there's drug trafficking, etc. So when he eventually did that, we said fine. However, what people do not want, it is for us to speak the truth, to say the lives of South Africans is worse off. If you look at the rent versus in 2018 when he took over as president versus now, you look at the unemployment levels, you look at the murder rates, you can see that there is a decline in the quality of life of South Africans. Therefore, it is our duty as a party, it is our duty as MPs to say, ayilunganga le nto, we cannot continue in this matter. However, people who blindly follow the president are going to say we are just anti, whereas the facts are there. If you look at how much the rent was in 2018 versus now, if you look at, for example, the question of the food basket in 2018 versus now. So for us as an organization, we are not going to stop being critical of the government, because it is our duty, it is our moral duty to expose the government on its shortcomings.
Lastly, and shortly, Mr. Zungula. The ATM, since 2020, within a year in government, you tabled a motion of no confidence in the president, but you never managed to succeed on that, and he's still in office. Your feelings about that?
We did not have confidence in his leadership because we gave him a chance. If you remember, the very first SONA, in fact, very first time we were in Parliament where he got to be elected as a president, we made a commitment to him and say, if he does right by the people of our country, we'll always support him. But should he do wrong to the people, then we can't support someone that is harming the interests and the lives of South Africans. So when we raised that motion, it was in regard that he has been failing South Africans. The fact that now Parliament has refused to have a secret ballot on the matter and eventually did not allow the voting motion of no confidence to be heard, it means that we've got a Parliament that is protecting the president. Even now, when they are banning members of Parliament from the EFF from attending, it is basically Parliament protecting a president from accountability, because that is what they are doing, whereas it should be Parliament that is enforcing the accountability on the president, because the president accounts to Parliament. The Parliament is not subservient to the president. It is the president that needs to come and submit to this Parliament. So you can't have a Parliament that wants to protect a person who is elected by the Parliament and who is accountable to Parliament. So for us, we've got a problem of a Parliament that is going to protect this current president.
Nompo, let's leave it at that and back to you at the studio.
Thanks very much, my colleague there, Lulama Matya.